Wow, it's a new season. There's new players, there's Champions League football, there's all sorts of stuff to get ourselves stuck into this season, and it all starts with today's episode. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Today we have got just the one game for you, the Espanyol game in the Spanish First Division. We've also got a Champions League draw, and of course we've got all our new signings to get through. We're going to kick things off though with the new signings. That's usually where we start off a new season. You can see down here actually it does say 45 transfers to be dealt with. Ignore that because it's transfer deadline day, and these 45 transfers have come in today for teams wanting my youth players on loan. Which is probably my fault because they're probably all set for loan, but I just can't be bothered to deal with it right now. So it says that, ignore it, it's not going to happen. Right, this is the business that we have done this summer. We'll start off with the outs, 13.5 million worth of outs. A few players left at the end of their contract, usually from these guys from the B team actually weren't too bothered by them basically, but Diego Gonzalez, a left back's gone 4.5 million to Vigo. Solanke's gone for 4 million to Aston Villa. Julio Diaz is one I'm very, very disappointed with. He had his minimum fee release clause of £2 million met by Cadiz, and although I told him that he was going to get first team football this season, he's just decided to go. And he was probably one of the most promising youth prospects. In fact, he's the youth prospect that we've used the most. He made at least 40 appearances for the first team, so I'm very disappointed that he's gone. Dorsch has also gone, £1 million, didn't really play him last season. Rollheis has gone, Sanset's gone, Chalaba's gone, and Daniel, who is our youth player, or was a youth player of us, has gone to Villarreal for £200,000, right to £350,000. Only 2-star potential, so I'm not quite sure what Villarreal see in him, but if they want to pay that kind of money for a player that's not that good, then take off my hands, that's fine. On the ins, it has been frustrating actually. It's been very frustrating. A lot of the targets that we've had this summer just haven't come through because we are really, I've got to say, a top club now in Spain. I'll show you the pre-season predictions in a little bit, but we are regarded as a top club in Spain, and so the pool of players that we can select from to improve our squad is getting smaller and smaller every year. As you know, we get better, our team gets better, the players that can improve it, there aren't as many of them. So the targets that we did have often went to clubs that could pay for them. Higher transfer fees, higher wages. We couldn't really compete. We only had 12 million in the bank to start off with at the start of the summer transfer window. But what we have done is bring in some players that I think have got the ability to change the squad round. We'll start off with Harbo's back on loan, as is Badeka. Now, I've made a bit of a mistake with Badeka. You'll see here, loan fee, £650,000. I thought that was I'm not quite sure what I was thinking. I thought that was the fee for the entire season, but no, that's per month, that is. And we can't cancel his loan, so we are paying at least £6.5 million for a player on loan this season. So that's my bad. Can't cancel it, and we've got to pay the money. So a little bit annoying, but we have got two very, very good midfielders, two good wonder kids coming back to the squad, so I'm very happy with my midfield. To improve on the midfield, CDM position is going to be taken up by Thomas Partey. He's coming on a free transfer after, I think it was Atletico Madrid let him go at the end of his contract. He looks very, very decent actually still. Still pretty good at 30 years old. Very, very, he's the oldest player in the squad by at least 4 or 5 years, I think, which is a bit weird, but he is a decent player. He is very, very good out there on quite a cheap contract for the calibre of player he is as well. And playing in the Atletico first team pretty much for most of last season, did very, very well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does this season. So we've got a very solid midfield, I think. And we said we wanted to strengthen up front and we wanted to strengthen in defence. And we'll start off with the defender. Emmanuel Sanchez comes in from Estudiantes. I mean, he's not the best. He was about a 4th target, I've got to say. I mean, he's good because he can play with either foot. That's very nice. I like that versatility. But he was like the 4th target we had. He has got low determination, which is something I really, really do not like in my players. But we had to bring someone in defensively. We sold a few defenders. We had to get someone in. So this guy isn't the man that came in. So, I mean, he's done all right at his previous club, Estudiantes. Like, nothing amazing apart from his first few seasons when he played 1 or 2 games. But, I mean, he's got a good few seasons under his belt, a full season. So he should be okay to hit the ground running here. Hopefully, he'll be all right. We also signed striker Nacho for £3 million from Atletico Madrid. Again, we needed more strikers to come in to back up Osmanovic. He comes in as a hot prospect, 19 years old, 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Could be very, very good. I think it's going to be a very adequate backup to Osmanovic this season. He's nowhere near Osmanovic, of course, but he's pretty well suited to the first division, and I think he should be able to make an impact this season at least. Has scored plenty of goals for Racing Santander in the second division, so the step up for him shouldn't be too much, especially that was a few years ago as well. Was meant to be on loan at Eibar this season, but then we poached him off him, so that's fine by me. And then finally, we brought in Chris Bannister on loan from Chelsea. Again, another striker who is good, I've got to say. He is good. The issue is, as you can see here, because he's English and England have left the European Union now in game, he doesn't count as an EU player, so he counts as a non-EU player, which we can only have 3 of, and those 3 are that Sanchez guy, Colono, and who else? Who's the other one? He's very important. Oh, Romero, of course. So 2 of our best defenders, along with our best player in the squad. It meant that Chris Bannister has come on loan again. We can't terminate the loan deal, which is very annoying. So he's now going to be in the B team this season. So hopefully he has a good time in the B team. What's he done? 2 goals and 3 appearances in non-competitive games and 2 assists. So again, that's pretty good. He's playing way below his level in the B team, but hopefully they get promoted this year. They nearly got promoted last year. It's a bit complicated, the second division B. There's 4 leagues of 20 teams, but only like 5 go up, I think, or something like that. The winner of each division goes up, and then they have basically a massive playoff system between the next 3 best teams in each division. And we got to the final of that, and then the B team lost. So that was a bit unfortunate. Hopefully this season, though, with Bannister, the B team will get promoted to the second division. And that would be probably worth it. But a £14.25 million worth player that we're paying 8.5k per week is now playing in the 3rd tier of Spanish football. So good luck to him with his 11 under 21 caps for England. We're ruining him. I'm sorry, but we are ruining him. So there we go. They're all the transfers and stuff. Hopefully you like. It's not been the best transfer window, I will be honest with you. I expected a little bit more, but I'm not too fussed because I did want to promote a lot of youngsters and things like that, which is what we have done. We'll take you through that in a little bit. First of all, though, we will look at the Champions League draw, which I've already accidentally done. In preparation for this episode, I was just setting all my things up. The screen went off on my laptop, screen save, whatever. So I just pressed the space bar to get it back on, which of course means continue game. So it just did the draw by itself. So that's my bad. But the draw has been done. And apparently we've been handed a tough draw. As you can see here, we're in it, along with Monaco, Inter Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. I think this is an easier draw than last season. So Inter Milan may be the hardest team there. I know Monaco have got very, very good strikers. Leverkusen I'm not so sure about. But I reckon that's a group we could get through. I think it's better than we'd had last season. So I'm a little bit more confident for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section though. Monaco, Inter Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. Again, I think, I reckon we could get 2nd or 3rd. I think we're too good for 4th. I'm not quite sure we're good enough yet for 1st. But you never know, we're a top team in Spain now. So I'm expecting good stuff. Now, the board actually have been pretty aggressive with me over summer. They're expected, the minimum expectation is to qualify for the Champions League. So the pressure really is on this season. This is the first season where there's actual real pressure on me as a manager to perform and get the boys to perform. They're expecting Champions League qualification, so we've got to be in the top 4. Pre-season preview actually does suggest that we should be there or thereabouts. The bookies put us as 4th. Well, it was 4th. 4th favourite still. 6-1 to win the title, which is pretty good odds. Not quite as good as Atletico Barcelona or Real Madrid. Real Sociedad and Seville also pretty close to our odds. So we should be in the top 6. But of course, the board want 4th at the minimum. So we'll have to work hard for that. We've already played the first league game of the season. We played Las Palmas away from home, 1-2-1. The scoreline suggests it was quite close. Stat-wise, we absolutely dominated them. And their goal was it was a weird crossing that just seemed to catch out Berkeyser somehow. So they were very lucky to score their goal. We played that game so we could get the Champions League draw in this episode, of course. And then in 3 days' time, we've got the Espanyol game at home in the stadium that's nearly finished expanding. We've got the expansion being built over summer to about 35,000 seats, which is very nice. So that game at Espanyol is in 3 days' time. I have to sit through the rest of the deadline day, probably get another 25 bids come in for players. Hopefully, when the transfer window or the window closes or gets to midnight, whenever it is, then I don't have to actually press reject and all these. That's what I'm banking on, because I just get so annoyed pressing reject and everything. So I'm hoping that I can just skip it all by just leaving it all to the deadline, and then because it's deadline, deals can't be done, so they automatically all get rejected. Crucially, we didn't lose any of the key players that we thought we were going to lose. Berkeyser, Adzic and Osmanovic, they're the main ones. Bids did come in for them, but then I negotiated. Rather than reject it, because they'd be super cross if I said, no, you can't sign them. They get angry at me because they've been asking me to sell them. So what I did instead was just negotiate them all to 300 million plus. And everyone was like, oh no, we're not going to pay that, we'll withdraw. So I didn't reject it, they withdrew their bids. So it's worked out quite nicely. Oh, that is actually perfect. Look at all these all these transfers have been cancelled because deadline day has passed. You love to see that. This chart seems to suggest how much money is in the Premier League. £1 billion spent in this summer transfer window by the Premier League compared to 240 in Spain and 230 in Germany. That is ridiculous. And Newcastle spending 77 million of it. That's very unusual. They must have a new owner, obviously, because whatever he's called, Mike Ashley doesn't spend a penny, does he? When you look at that, now that transfer window is gone and all the clubs have lost interest in my players, Burke happy to stay, Cucurella happy to stay, Osmanovic happy to stay, and Adzic happy to stay. We may try and get a few of these guys under contract a little bit longer, maybe. We'll sort of see how the first half of the season goes, and we'll try and do it maybe. Cucurella just coming back from an injury, hands also out for 1 or 2 days more. They both picked up injuries. In fact, Cucurella picked up his injury pretty much at the start of pre-season. He's not really had a pre-season at all. And Osmanovic is apparently capable of playing today, so I reckon it's probably just worth playing him. He's better than Nacho, so we may as well play him. Although he still is an injured orange, so I reckon it's maybe just a little bit safer to put him there. Diaz has gone, of course. He left right at the start, just before the episode started, so Verb is going to have to come on the pitch, or on the bench rather. Right, this then is the starting lineup for the game against Espanyol. Burke in goal. Youngster Jonathan Cano comes in as Cucurella is still injured, or just come back from injury, but there's no point playing him today. So Cano played well last game, is going to start today. One of our youth guys that have come through, 1.5-star credibility, 4-star potential, 18 years old. I reckon he's very, very good, and he will be very good in future. New defender Sanchez on the left, Romero on the right, and Diouf as right back. Thomas Partey in that CDM role with Dad and Colonna just ahead of him. Adzic on the left, Orsolini on the right, and Nacho is going to be starting up front today as a target man on attack. Apparently, we'll do that. Another player to introduce you to is Aitor Vazquez. Again, another youngster that has come through our youth ranks. 17 years old, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. Would love to get him into the squad on a permanent, regular basis, and I think he will probably end up replacing Romero pretty soon as the season gets going. As no one else has been promoted, we've got a much smaller squad than last season, I've got to say, which is a little bit of a worry perhaps, but we can always sign players in January or free transfers and things like that if we're desperate. Right then, kickoff is upon us today against Espanyol. We played them at the end of last season, I think, on camera, and didn't do very well. Or we did lose. We lost to them. I do remember losing to them. So we want to try and get revenge today. I think one of the last games kicking off, actually. I know there's a few more games to go, of course. But as things stand, only Barcelona, the teams win both of their opening games so far. So it'd be nice to join them up there on 6 points, which would be very good. It looks like Espanyol have the first chance. It's very difficult, actually, with these two blues. They do look quite similar. But Espanyol on the ball, trying to play it out from the back. Antonov on the ball, trying to come forward past Diouf, gets the ball forward, but Romero is there to clean it up, and now Diouf can launch the attack forward as Colonna puts it forward. Interception made, but it goes back to Dad, who dances through into Orsolini, who's been... He's been absolutely on fire in I think he got 7 goals in pre-season, which is very, very good for him. He outscored Luka Adzic, I believe, which is very unusual for him to do. So Adzic is always one that gets more of a goal. I think Orsolini is probably a little bit underrated, actually. He does get quite a lot of goals and assists, but not quite the same level as Adzic, sorry. Looks like Espanyol have a chance to attack now around the half-hour mark in this game. Get it pretty central out towards Jovic in the middle. Again, the ball wasn't the best, and Romero can clear it twice, I believe, there. And now Dali Blind, who's obviously had a bit of a downward spiral in his career since Manchester United, is now playing at Espanyol. Colonna gets the ball, though, plays it out towards Dad, who's not really got many options up front. Adzic is there. He's got to go on his own, and he manages to put it in the back of the net when Orsolini couldn't. Really, 21 Nacho. He should have been a lot more central there, which is a little bit worrying, actually. I know he's a youngster. I know he's not as good as Osmanovic. I know he's playing more of a target man than an advanced forward sort of thing, but he was really out of position there, I think. Again, Espanyol trying to play it out from the back. They seem to be doing that quite a bit this game, which must be their game plan. Although it's worked for them this time, as Jovic on the ball now into Gerard. Gerard Moreno, it must be, gets it out wide, who can put the cross in. Jovic is there, wins the header, plays it down to Gerard Moreno, and they have managed to equalise here. And that was we should have stopped that goal. We should have stopped it in the build-up. We had players in the area that should have dealt with it as well. I'm not very happy with that. Chance, though, for us to try and get back in the lead in this game. Jonathan Cano now on the ball, up towards Dad, in towards Adzic there as we try and play it down this left-hand side. of the pitch, excuse me there. Colono gets himself tackled in the centre of the field. That's not where you want to lose the ball. And here, once again, Espanyol trying to build from the back, which is what they've been doing quite successfully so far, actually, and could be successful again as Gerard Moreno manages to break through our defence, has a shot from distance with Berkey is there to make a comfortable save. Luckily, though, Gerard Moreno, who has been a thorn on our side so far, has now picked up a bit of a knock. Hopefully he'll have to come off. He's been very dangerous. I don't want him playing anymore, so get him off. Not the best half, actually. Not the best half. We're going to go aggressive, and we're going to go... I know a lot of you want to avenge Espanyol for last time. A few players are motivated by it, but, I mean, it's... Team talks are a little bit weird, aren't they? You never know what's going to happen. Gerard Moreno is still on the pitch, though, in the second half. Gets tackled, though, so hopefully that injury is hindering him in his ability. Dad nearly gets tackled, gets it in towards Nacho, puts a great ball into Adzij in the end, who manages to get a shot away, saved by the keeper. Couldn't really do much with the rebound, gets tackled and is cleared. I also noticed we're playing at home. It just says 26,000 people in the stadium right now. I'm pretty sure we sold 27,000 season tickets. So I don't know what's going on there. You know, who's not turning up with their season tickets? Are they just saving them to make sure they've got a seat for Barcelona and Real Madrid? That's what I want to know. I mean, Nacho's apparently on a 7.3, which I don't really believe. We'll give him 2 or 3 more minutes, but I'm going to bring Pelaez on this right-hand side of the pitch as a winger on support. I don't think Orsolini's played particularly well so far today. I want to bring on Vázquez in a little bit as well, but I think that the only change we'll make right now, it's only 60 minutes into the game, and we seem to be doing much better in the second half. Although there's been no highlights since Pelaez has come on the pitch, which it does make me think we don't need Thomas Partey on the pitch. Maybe we bring Osmanovic on then as a advance forward on attack. Nacho becomes more about target man on support, and maybe this may help us out a little bit, trying to get a final goal in these last 20-15 minutes or so. We have got a chance though. As soon as that happens, Romero's header just hits the crossbar. Dad's he put the rebound in the back of the net, but was apparently in an offside position when he took this shot, which is unfortunate. 10 minutes to find a goal. We can do it. Colonna's looking tired out there, but he is playing well. I reckon we leave him on the pitch right now. We get a little bit extra pace at the back just in case we need it. So Romero's going to come off for youngster Vázquez in his final 10 minutes or so. Give him a bit of game time. He'll enjoy that. We are going to say push forward to the boys, though, in these final few minutes. I would love to get the win here today. We've definitely had enough chances to win today. Definitely had enough chances, as you can see from the stats. 20 shots, 7 of which on target. We've had better possession as well. So, you know, we really should be getting more out of this game. I'm disappointed with the draw here today. We haven't lost, which is the main thing, I suppose, but it's not quite what I wanted. Aggressive then, that was not good enough. No excuses for not winning that game, but we did win away from home against Las Palmas. So who did we play? Was it Las Palmas? I think it was Las Palmas. As long as you win at home and draw away, you should be all right for being top 4 title sort of contention. Although in our case, it's win away from home and draw at home. Once again, though, Dad playing very, very well. A lot of you have been saying that he looked like a very, very good player. And his stats so far seem to suggest he has 4-star current ability now, getting even better. I can't believe we only got him for £3 million. Like, that is crazy. Right then, next episode, I reckon we go straight for Inter Milan and Athletic Bilbao. We get the Inter Milan game out of the way. We do some Champions League stuff. That's very exciting. So only the Real San Sebastian game to play after international break. And then we've got these 2 games. So I'm pretty excited. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time for some more Real Deal.